Hey guys, it's Michelle with Silver Snake Designs. Hope all is well with you guys today. Today I'm going to teach you how to bead on a wire form. I'm going to teach you how to bead on the outside of a wire form just because it's a little bit easier than teaching you to bead on the inside of a wire form. So as you can see in this video, I have a ton of different shapes. You can see here's a little drop, an oval, triangle and a different size, lots of different wires, and different shapes and circles. So there's a lot of different things that you can do and bead on. So for example, I have some examples of necklaces I made here. These are two necklaces. These are just on a regular circle. These are on drops. In fact, there's a drop right there, but I think it's a little bit bigger I did with those drops, but still, you know, you have all these different shapes and, you know, it's endless possibilities of what you can do depending on the shape. You know, whether if you have a diamond shape or a trefoil shape or a lovely, you know, maybe what you can do with this is bead some blue around the outside and then just maybe hang a little Swarovski crystal. You know, there's just endless possibilities. Oh, look at that, little hearts. Little diamonds, oh, and stars, you know, so it's like, yay. There's a lot you can do here. We're going to learn actually on a circle just because it's easier, so I'm going to keep that there. And the reason why I wanted to do this video was because I had recently learned, I know, me just recently learned how to do this. I've never done it before, and I wanted to learn how to do it. So I made the two necklaces first, and then I said, well, okay, now that I've done that, let me make these earrings. And I had extra beads, and I had extra wire drop shapes. So then I decided, well, I've got enough to make some kits. So then I went ahead and did that. I got 3 right here that are on Etsy right now, and they're only $16, and they're made with gold-filled ear wires, gold plate drops. Thread and needle is not provided with these, and the prerequisite is brick stitch on a wire form. So I also decided to do this video to help you if you decide you wanted to buy these earrings and learn how to do brick stitch on a wire form. So as you can see too, I have all the little beads that you're going to need. It's a lovely peacock color. I really like them. I wore them today at the salon and I just got so many compliments on it. So my hairdresser was like, oh, those are cute. I'm like, I know. So that's the other thing too. You can wear the stuff that you make, you know, and it's a lot of fun because you made it. But let's get into the tutorial because that's important. So here I have the circle, and here you can see what I did. I did on the outside diameter and I did stuff on the inside diameter. Okay. So to jump right into it, I'm going to move these off to the side. So you have your wire form, and what we're going to do, oh, those are still in the video, but that's okay because I don't know how to video edit. We're going to take, I have a needle. This is a size 10 needle. This is some Fireline. This is size 11 seed beads. And this is just a metal wire form. And then what we're going to do is you're going to take your metal form and we're going to tie the string to it. Now you want to leave a nice good tail because what you want to do is weave your thread back into the piece, which will also give it some stability as well. But I don't want to see like any knots basically on the you know, sticking out anywhere, because if somebody puts the necklace on this way or this way, then you can see where something's been tied, and I just don't like that. I like invisible stuff, invisible thread, where, you know, you really don't see the knot work. So leave a nice tail so that way we can work it back into the piece. And then we're just gonna tie it, overhand knot. Just like that. You can tie it again if you want, but I'm not. And then you want to make sure your thread is in the right spot for it. And what I mean by that is there's different ways for your thread to sit. So if it's sitting like this, because we're working on the outside diameter, we're not going to have anything that's going to get into our needle's way here. But if you're doing an inside diameter, your thread basically has to sit below, because you'd have to get your needle in, out, and we would be working in the confines of this inner circle. So that's why I think when you do inner brick stitch, that it's a little bit more difficult than if you were to do brick stitch on the outside, because you really don't have to work in the confines of the circle. You would only, in order just to anchor your beads, you would just come up through the circle. So it's a lot easier, and that's why I kind of want to get you started on outside diameter. But save your piece that you're going to be working on, because what I'm going to do is use this same piece in another video, and we're going to use your same piece that you just made, your little tutorial piece, and we're going to do inside diameter. So that way I can show you how to do the inside, and also because we're going to be adding beads. So you can see on the inside diameter have 1, 2, 3 different rows. So well, if you already know brick stitch, then once you get your beads onto the wire form, once you get that first step down, you know, that base down, you'll be able to brick stitch around, and it should be no problems for you, because at that point you're going to be brick stitching on top of beads. It's just this initial of let's get the beads onto the wire to get the shape that we want our piece to be. So let's get started. So we tied. I'm going to hold the piece like this, just because I like to use my fingers to guide the beads and to hold the beads to keep them from going all over. And I do this just to hold the really long thread out of the way. So what we're going to do is, if you're ready, we're going to pick up 2 beads. We're going to bring them all the way down. This is where I have my finger as a guide. And then we're going to take our needle. We're going to come up through the bottom of the circle. I'm going to pull. And as you can see how that other bead wants to go down under there, we don't want that, which is why we have our finger here as a guide. So when we pull, we want those beads to be sitting like that. And then we're going to take our needle and we're going to come up through this last bead, just that one, just like that. And we're going to pull. And you can see the loop as I'm pulling, it's coming through the circle, and that is actually what is going to hold our beads onto the loop, just like that. So your initial step, you're going to add 2, and then as we keep going, we're going to add 1. But don't worry if this bead, if you know, it comes out looks like that, or if it is flat, or whatever angle it's at. I really wouldn't worry too much about it, because once we go around and add our last bead, I'll teach you how to join it, and this one will just sit flat with no problem. So I wouldn't be too concerned about trying to get that bead to sit flat. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our 1 bead. So in your first, when you anchor them, you pick up 2, just like you would in regular brick stitch. Then as you go, you pick up 1. So we're going to take that bead, we're going to bring it all the way down. We're going to come up through the bottom of the circle. We're going to pull. And we're going to go through that bead. There. Oops, now there's a space. What do? Now, if your beads do that, I wouldn't really worry too much about it because all you do is this. And then you can put them together. I'm going to pick up a bead. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to come up through the bottom of the circle without poking myself. I'm going to pull. I'm going to go through the bead. There we go. I'm going to do it again. Pick up a bead. We're going to bring it all the way down. I'm going to go through the circle from the underneath, pull, and then bring my needle through the bead. Ooh, another little space, but that's okay because we just do that. And that's how you do that. We'll just keep going a little bit more just so you can still keep seeing. All right, so we're going to pick up a bead, bring it all the way down, come up through the bottom of the circle, and then go through the bead. There we go. And now that you know how to do it, it gets to be very quick. Oops, bring a bead down, come up through the circle. Oops, now you can see what happened there, and that's why we have our finger there as a guide. And there we go. So now you pretty much get the basic gist of how that goes. So what I've done, so that way I'm not eating up precious space, I've already got it made till we get to where it's almost complete. So you can see. So now what we're going to do with this, and I'm going to show you now how to close it. Oops, wrong needle. Put that over there. Not technical at all. Nope, nope. So now we have this and we're getting closer to close it. Let's just add on our last few beads. If you haven't reached this point yet, pause the video until you do get here, and then you can just restart up again. Forgot to mention that. So we're going to bring that, bring it up. Now it looks like we'll do one. It looks like we may need two more, so we'll do one. And this is why you need your fingers there. And don't rush. You don't want to do a shoddy job. Two, and I think it looks like we can get one more in there. So pick up my last bead. All right. So now that you've beaded your last bead on there, this is, and let's say the first bead you put on I was telling you about is sticking up. You just go through the top like this and come down. Now see how my needle is on top of the piece? And what you want to do, just pull that and then come up right here in just a circle, and that will close it. Just give it a little, may have to finagle it a bit by holding them and just pulling. and that's all you really do. So now what you do is, if you're familiar with brick stitch at this point, you know what you need to do to get to the point and start beading around. So this is just basically it. Very simple, very easy. Then my next video I'm going to teach you how to bead on the inside of a wire form. So keep an eye out for that. And if you have any questions, just leave them in comments. If there was something I didn't cover, if there's a tip or trick that you know that you think would be easier, let me know. You can find me on Facebook, Silver Snake Designs. Just look for the Silver Snake. Oh, there's my Silver Snake. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.